Hello guys, welcome back to question 6, or let me say part 3 of our question paper for 2022 grade 12 IEB. I'm going to try to make this video, I'm going to try to make me answering our question paper as short as possible. Please bear with me guys, we're still on page 11 of 24. Okay, so let's get straight to answering the questions here. Question 6, you start a business and buy a truck or a delivery truck for 450,000 rands. Question A, so I'm assuming that this question 6, everything we're going to answer is based on 450,000 rands. Question A says, if the inflation rate, now inflation, I want you to always take your minds to compound interest. So if the inflation rate is 6% per annum, how much will a new delivery truck cost in 5 years' time? So this amount, guys, is supposed to increase because our inflation keeps on increasing, right? Now I'm gonna go straight to the formula of compound interest. It is A P bracket 1 plus I to the power of n. And then how much will this truck cost in 5 years' time? That means currently it is 450,000 multiplied by 1 plus 6%, and 6% will be 0.06. Yes, 0.06. This is 6%, so I put 0.06 there to the power of 5, because how much will this truck be in 5 years' time? Then I go straight to my calculator. It's 450,000 multiplied by 1 plus 0.06 close bracket to the power of 5. There you go. Simply means that this truck is gonna be 602,000 rands. So it's 602,201,51. Okay, let's see if we round it off correctly there. Yes, that's the final answer. Now I'm rounding off to 2 decimal places because this is money, so we have to put the cents there and put the rands there. That's the final answer. Moving on to question B. If you calculate depreciation, now that money is gonna go down, we're going to subtract here. If you calculate depreciation at 20% per annum using the reducing balance method, what will the value of your delivery truck be in 5 years? As you know, once you buy something or once you buy a car from a dealership, the moment you take it out of the dealership, the value decreases. That means if you decide to sell it on the spot after taking it out, it won't be the same amount that you paid when you took it out. It will be a lesser amount because the value has depreciated. Now that's what this is asking us. The truck has depreciated after 5 years' time. How much will it be if it depreciates at 20% interest? Okay, so we have our formula 1 minus, we won't say plus now because we are depreciating the value of our truck. Okay, and when I substitute, remember initially this is the amount of the truck multiplied by 1 minus 20% would be 0.2 to the power of 5. And then at the end of 5 years, if that car depreciate at that percentage, so I'll just say 0.2, but remember we have to replace the plus with the minus. That means at the end of 5 years, the truck would have went down to 147,456 rands. Yes, that's it. Question C. Okay, question C. You set up a sinking fund for the next 5 years, so that you can trade in your delivery truck and buy a new one by financing the difference with the sinking fund. The bank offers an interest rate of 9% per annum compounded monthly. How much should you put away at the end of each month? How much should you put away at the end of each month? How much must you invest so that you have enough to finance the difference between the new vehicle and trade-in value of your delivery truck at the end of 5 years? The last payment into the sinking fund is made at the end of 5 years, meaning at the end of the last month of the 5-year plan. Okay. Now, you set up a sinking fund, guys. This is gonna be, because you're saving money. When you're saving money, this will be the future value. Okay. You set up a sinking fund for the next 5 years so that you trade in your delivery truck and buy a new one by financing the difference. With the sinking fund. Okay. So here we have to get a difference, guys, and our difference is gonna be the money between like in 5 years, this truck is gonna be a certain amount, but our truck is gonna depreciate. So we're looking for that difference. If I can just scroll up, remember we said after 5 years, because of inflation, the amount is gonna go to 600,000, but if the amount depreciates, it's gonna be 147. So we're looking for the difference between those two numbers. So it's 602. Let me just get the numbers correct. It's 602 20151 201,51 minus 147 456, and then let's get that difference. My calculator, there it is. So we say 602 454. I'm sorry guys, I'm just calling out the numbers one by one just to save time. 745, 51. Let me double check. And perfect. Now this is the amount that we want to have at the end of the 5 years, so that we can add on the balance, which will be that amount when the truck is depreciated, so that we can be able to buy a new one, meaning be able to form that to buy a new truck, because you can't keep on using the same truck for another 6 years. That truck will be old, guys. Now remember I said this is future value, and we have to finance that amount. How much are we gonna invest per month? Okay, so formula for future value is F is equal to X square bracket 1 plus the value of I to the power of n minus 1, all divided by the value of I. Now if I substitute here, our future value, the money that we are financing, is the difference between inflation and the 5-year amount for the truck being depreciated. So I take that, it becomes my future value. This is the value that we are looking for. And then bracket, I'm gonna have 1 plus, let me just get my interest rate. The interest rate is gonna be 9%, so this is 0,09 compounded monthly. I divide that by 12 to the power of 5 years times the 12, and then we subtract 1. All of this is divided by 0,09 divided by 12. Okay, then let's see. In order to make it simple for myself, using inverse operation, guys, we're going to solve for x now. So I will say, therefore, x is equal to 454 745,51 multiplied by the denominator right here. So we multiply that by the denominator, doing cross multiplication now. Okay, so we're gonna say multiplied by 0,09 over 12, and then if you look closely, this is gonna be the coefficient of x. Whatever answer you get in the bracket becomes the coefficient of x, but if you're solving for x, you would have to divide by that coefficient. So I will divide here by 1 plus 0,09 over 12, 5 times 12 minus 1, and then this is gonna give me the value of x. Now the value of x is, we said it's 454,745,51 times our fraction, which is 0,09 over 12. All of that is divided by 1 plus 0,09 over 12 to the power of 5 times 12. 5 times 12 is 60, guys. Should have replaced that with 60. And then that's the amount we would have to put in the bank for, or per month, to be able to finance our sinking fund. So it's 6,000, 6029, 6029,18. You get your 5 marks. And then that's the end of section 1. End of section 1. Section B. Guys, I don't like how paper 1 is structured in IEB. Why do we have finance again in section B? Okay, question 7 says a person is able to pay 14,500 per month to pay off a loan. So we're paying someone that you owe. Okay. The bank offers the person an interest rate of 12% per annum compounded monthly. So this is I. Yes. The first question is, what is the maximum loan the person can get from the bank if it needs to be paid over a period of 20 years? Round down to the nearest 100. That means no decimals there. Okay. Guys, loans are present value. We have to use the present value formula. Now the present value formula will be P is equal to X square bracket 1 minus, we have 1 plus I to the power of negative n, all divided by the value of I. Okay, I hope you guys know the difference between a present value and future value. Now, to do my substitution, a person is able to pay a loan, or is able to pay 14,500 per month. That's what is being put per month. To pay off a loan, this is the value of P. Now when I substitute, I'll say 14,500 square bracket 1 minus 1 plus I will be your 12%, which is 0,12 over 12, because it's compounded monthly, to the power of negative, they said 20 years there. So let's make it easy. Our n, guys, is gonna be 20 times 12. 20 times 12 will be 20 times 12, 240. Then I say minus 240 there. Close bracket, all divided by 0,12 over 12. Guys, why do I have 1 2 there? Let's rectify that. I remember this value was not 12. Was it not 20? Oh yes, there is 12. 20 is for the years. Sorry, my mistake. So we are correct. So far so good. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do now is to put that in a calculator, and then let's get the loan amount, which will be the value of P. So if I go straight to calculator, that is 14,500 bracket 1 minus bracket 1 plus 0.12 divided by 12 close bracket to the power of minus 240, close my bracket, go down, it's 0.12 all divided by 12. So this is the amount of the loan. Now remember they said round to the nearest 100. So let me write the first 3 digits down. It's 246. Okay, it's a million. This one, 1,316,881, 537. But remember they said round to the nearest 100. Now I'm going to round off to the nearest 100. This is 1,316,000. The nearest 100 would be round down. Nearest 100 is 900, but they said round down, so we have to take 800. There it is. Get your 3 marks there. Question B, if the loan is taken up by the person, what will the outstanding balance be at the end of the 8th year, immediately after the installment has been made? If the payments, if they made payments of 14,500 per month, basically here guys, they are manipulating our value of n. Okay, so if the loan above is taken by a person, what will the outstanding balance be at the end of the 8th year? So 8 times 12 would be 8 times 12 is going to be 96. That means at the end of the 96th payment, keep that in mind, this is our new n. Immediately after the installment has been made, if they made payments of what's the question? What will the outstanding balance be? That's what they are asking. Okay, now what's going to happen is, remember our loan amount. Our loan amount is 1 million. Oh no, what is happening now? Okay, our loan amount is 1,316,800 rands. This becomes now the value of P. Okay, we're going to use the compound formula, guys. Let's see. We're going to use the compound formula to find the accumulated amount, and then okay, let me do that, then we'll get to the next part. It's P1 plus I to the power of n. The loan amount is 1,316,800 rands. Bracket 1 plus what was our value of I? Check. It was 12%. That's 0.12 all divided by 12. Remember we said our n value is now 96. Okay, and then let's see, put that in a calculator. 1,316,800 bracket 1 plus 0.12 over 12 to the power of 96. No, to the power of, guys, I don't know what's happening now. To the power of 96. There you go. Whoa, this is a big number. It's 246. So it's still 3 million. 3,422,722, comma 59. So this is the outstanding balance. Okay, no, sorry, not the outstanding, but it's our value of A, because this will be the accumulated amount. Okay, then we go on to finding the future. Now when we find the future value, it will be f is equal to x bracket 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 all divided by I. and then we said you are paying 14,500 rands. Let me just get that right. So sorry for this scrolling up and down. I have to get the right figures. Can't keep everything in my mind, guys, but I'm trying. Our percentage is 12% over 12 for 96 minus 1, all divided by 0.12 over 12. And then this is gonna give us, let's see, this is gonna give us 1400. Guys, I hope I'm not getting these answers wrong. 0.12 over 12 to the power of 96 minus 1 close bracket divided 0.12 over 12. So it's 2318 945,74. And then now the outstanding balance is gonna be outstanding balance. Now we're answering the question. You have to take your accumulated amount, the loan, 59 minus 2,318,945,74. Then let's see. This calculator doesn't have pre-answer, guys. Makes things difficult for us. So it's one calculators with the pre-answer here. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. Now let's continue. I said it's 3422,722,59 minus 2,318,945,74. So this is the balance amount. It's 1,103,776,85. That's the balance amount. If you didn't understand, please pause the video, go start afresh, and then come back to continue. Okay, guys, moving on to question 8. As you can see, now we are on series. Question A says calculate the value of x if this sigma notation is given. Okay, now firstly I'm going to analyze this thing so that we don't get lost along the way. Firstly, we are given the value of n. This is where the whole series is going to start when I evaluate this thing, this whole thing. What I'm gonna do here, I'll start by writing my series in numbers, meaning I want to remove this symbol and write it as a series whereby we get numbers that are adding one another. Okay, now the n value is your starting point. How do you do this? You are going to do this by saying, they gave you the formula there. You're going to do this by saying 3 times 3. Now this value of 3 is the value of n which was given there, okay, plus 5. And then another number which follows that is going to be 3 times. After 3, it is followed by 4. Basically, we say term 4 in other words, okay? And then the next one that follows here, would be 3 times 5 plus 5 and so forth until the last one, okay? So I'm going to do all of this in a calculator so that we can save our time. So writing my series now, it's going to be 3 times 3 plus 5. So I start from 3. I start by substituting 3 since it was given. Then I get 14. This becomes my first number on the series. Plus, let's write the first 4, okay? And then I say plus, let's see the next one. We are going to substitute 3 there and replace it with 4 because 4 follows after 3. Then I get 17. The next one, let's replace 4 with 5 now. So when I replace that, I get 20. Okay, let's do the last one. I'm gonna replace 5 with 6, and then can you see I got 23 there. I write it 23 there. So this is gonna continue until the last term, but the last term was supposed to be shown there by x. Since we do not know the last term, I'm just going to substitute n with x, okay, plus 5. When you add all of these numbers, let me put this in brackets, this is the last term. When you add all of these numbers, we should get 711 because this is the sum of that series. Now, our main goal is to get the value of x. How do I do that? Firstly, let's see the relationship between the numbers that we have. If you notice here, there is a constant difference. 7 minus 14 is 3, 20 minus 17 is 3, 23 minus 20 is 3. So there is a constant difference of 3. Okay, now we can simply see that this is a linear series or an arithmetic series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the formula that I know of an arithmetic series. This is going to be Sn is equal to n over 2 multiplied by 2 times a plus n minus 1 times d. I'm hoping that you guys are going to get a formula sheet here, okay? Now guys, what I'm trying to achieve here, so that I can, whatever I'm doing must lead me to the value of x. Firstly, I don't know the number of terms that are here, so I'm going to try and find the number of terms that are in this series. So the value when you add all these terms is 711. Where I see Sn, I put 711. I'm looking for that value, which is n, and then open bracket, 2 times a, the value of a will be 14, a is the first term, plus n minus 1 times the difference, which is 3, okay? So to simplify things for me, I'm going to multiply this 3 like that using the distributive method. So it's 3n minus 3. So long we can just remove that and then write the simplified one. We said it's 3n minus 3. And that's what I get. Now to find the value of n, we're just gonna do cross multiplication. So the 2 is going to multiply 711. So it's 711 times 2 is equal to n, and then open bracket, 2 times 14, 2 times 14 is 28, plus 3n minus 3, close bracket. Now if you look closely, this is gonna be 28n plus 3n squared minus 3n. Okay, I'm going to bring this guy here to the right hand side. Then this is gonna, firstly let's do it in a calculator. 711 times 2 is 1422, but when I bring it this side, it's gonna be minus 1422. Let me now write this in a standard form. To write it in a standard form, I'm going to start with 3n squared minus, okay, before we say minus, I want you to have a look there at 28n and 3n, those are like terms, which should give us 25n minus 1422. So I put that 1422 there. Now I get this quadratic equation. Remember, we're still looking for n. I look for the factors. So if I look for the factors, I know I'm going to have 3n, I'm going to have n there. This is how I cheat a quadratic formula, guys, or a quadratic equation. What I do is I go to my calculator, I put in the values using the quadratic equation. So let me quickly do that. So this is 25 squared minus 4 times 3 times minus 1422. What I'm trying to do here is to get the factors of my quadratic equation. As you can see, I got 18. Now that 18, I'm going to put it where I see n, but now with a negative sign. You're going to see why. Put it with a negative sign. Then let's go quickly and replace the plus with minus. I got negative 79 over 3. I'm going to write it as positive 79. Now when you solve for n here, n for this bracket would be minus 79 over 3. Basically, I did the vice versa of that from the calculator. And then here we get n as 18. Now, number of terms can't be negative, guys, because you have terms there. It's like when you're counting things that you can see. You can't say you can see negative things. So we are not going to go for this answer. Instead, the 18 terms. Okay. Remember what we are trying to get here. We're trying to get the value of x. Okay. Now, I'm going to go straight to the formula which says Sn is equal to n over 2 bracket a plus l. Basically, it's the same formula as that, just that now, since I know my last term is 3x plus 5, I'm going to substitute it there in the value of l, and a is 14, and now we know what we know how many terms we have. So basically, I do the same substitution, 711. I now know that the value of n, or the number of terms, there are 18 of them there. And then we said a is 14 plus the value of l is the last term which we did it at the beginning. It was 3x plus 5. Let me just confirm that quickly. Yes, it's 3x plus 5. Then we can just solve for x there. I'm going to multiply 711 by 2 and be left with 18 bracket. If you add 14 and 5, this gives you, let me start with 3x. 14 plus 5 is 19. Can I just confirm that, guys? I'm so sorry. My math is bad. I know I'm a math teacher, but hey. Okay, and then yes, it's 19, confirmed. I'm going to divide by 18 both sides so that I can eliminate 18 there. And let's see what we get on that fraction. So that fraction is 711 times 2 divided by 18. That is 79. So I put 79 there is equal to 3x plus 19. The 19 must cross over to that side, so it's 79 minus 19. We will be left with 3x, but we have to divide by 3 both sides. Now the value of x is gonna be the number that we get there. Let's see, so it's 79 minus 19, whereby we get 60. We divide that 60 by 3. The value of x is 20. The value of x is 20. And that's how you get to have your 6 marks, guys. Very lengthy one. It needs patience. It needs you to just bear with it. It needs you to understand what you're doing. Okay, it's quite long, I can see. Yeah, hectic. Anyway, that must not stop us. Let's continue to okay, guys, question B. Let's see what they want here. Let me get my pen. So in the diagram below, a ball bounces indefinitely along the path modeled below. Okay, I can see the ball starts at A, where it is catapulted. Yay, 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 this English, guys. Hey, let me search what this word means, okay? Before we do something we don't know. So it's catapulted. They just write that. So basically the ball is launched, guys, into the air from point A, and then it bounces, okay, where it is launched into the air before bouncing for the first time at B. So it bounces for the first time here. the horizontal distance BC, this is BC, it is equal to 3 over 4 of AB. That means you multiply whatever length here by 3 over 4 to get BC. Okay. CD is 3 over 4 of BC. Guys, I hope you can see the trend here. This one would be 3 over 4 CD and so forth. The pattern continues. Yeah, they said so there. Each bounce is modeled by the equation, which is a parabola. If the ball continued to bounce, it would eventually converge. There's something we get here, whereby our R should be between -1 and 1. Okay. The ball continued to bounce, it would eventually converge with the horizontal meters of 16 or 16 meters from point A. Okay. Now question 1 says determine the length of AB. That's where we start to find the length of AB. So I'm going to hide all of that. Let's go to AB, guys. To find AB, this is our key point. This is our focus point, or let me say reference. So we're going to use the formula Sn is equal to A over 1 minus R. But the value of A would be the distance of AB, because this becomes now our first bounds, or our first meters, our second meters, our third meters, and so forth. So I'm going to replace A with AB. Okay, then we substitute. This is 16, total of 16. AB is what we are looking for, over 1 minus R. R is the constant ratio here, guys, which is 3 over 4. So I say minus 3 over 4 there. Let's see now what the value of AB is gonna be. Basically, I'm gonna do cross multiplication, whereby we say AB multiplied by the denominator of 16, which is 1. So it remains AB. But 16 must multiply 1 minus 3 over 4. And then this is going to give us the length of AB. So let's see. 16 minus bracket 1. Sorry, not minus. 3 over 4. There we go. And then I'm going to remove that minus there because we did cross multiplication. And that is the value of AB. It is 4 meters basically, or it's just 4 units. Okay, that is AB. Now I'm going to take the values and replace them this to make our lives easier. This is 4. Remember they said BC is 3 over 4 of AB, and we said AB is 4. So BC is 3. It's no longer that. And this one, let's try CD. CD would be 3 over 4 of BC, but BC is 3, which makes it 9 over 4. So this becomes 9 over 4, and it continues so forth. Okay. Yeah, that's the length of AB, guys. It's 4, and then I just added the rest for the future. Question number 2, if there's one. Yes. What is the maximum height reached by the ball between points B and C? What is the maximum height between B and C? So basically they are asking the maximum height there. Okay. Now what I can say about the maximum height, guys, is that this is the turning point of the parabola. This is where we're going to find the value of P as well as the value of Q, because it's the highest point. Okay, now how do I do that? I want you to look here. From A to B, it's 4 units. And then from B to C, we add 3 units, which becomes 7 units. If I were to write the coordinate of B, I would say it's 4 is to 0. And if I were to write the coordinate of C, I would say it's 7 is to 0. But I have a problem there because I don't know what those coordinates are of the turning point. Okay, so far this is what I know, this is what I remember. y is equal to a. So this is x minus x1 into x minus x2. Okay, so this is one of the formulas that you studied in grade 11 on how to find an equation of a parabola. Sometimes you're finding your x-coordinates or your turning point, or if you have your x-intercept, or yes, you use it when you have the x-intercept, but it's one of the equations of a parabola. And I know that you know with a cubic function we add another bracket like that, but since we're not doing cubic functions, let's focus on what we're doing. So let's see what I can substitute here. I know that a is negative half from the equation. X minus x1, let's use 4. X minus x2, let's use 7. And then we have y there. So we've got two unknowns, and we want to solve for the maximum value, which is that one there. Guys, this is a tricky one, honestly. Guys, this is a tricky one. I'm not finding any solutions here. H bounds is modeled by the equation. Guys, this is a tricky one. Me, I'd be lying if I said I say it. Guys, if there's anyone who knows how to get the maximum value there, please comment down the solution below, cause I'm stuck. I have to admit, guys, I'm stuck. When I don't know it, I have to admit. Please assist. Please assist, guys. Please assist. Hey, this is a tough one. No, please assist, guys. So question 9, the diagram below, we have a function of w, we have a function of t, both straight lines, okay? Just that the gradient here is negative, the gradient there is positive. So these are axes of symmetry for the given graph, which is h. E lies on h. So let me do this quickly so that we can be able to view the graph as well as reading the statement. There you go. So it says w is that, t is that, okay, are the axis of symmetry for the given graph, which is h, and then a graph of h, you can see that it's a hyperbolic graph or hyperbola. So function of a hyperbola is shown by a over x minus p plus q. And then let's continue. E lies on h. I can't find e. Oh, there is e. E lies on the graph of h. Okay, and then ABCD is a rectangle with AD on the axis, which is x, with AD x. Okay, I think at some point they're going to ask us what's this? They're going to ask us this distance. That means distance of AD. They can't just give us that without asking. That's my assumption. We'll see when we get to the questions. So yeah, statement corresponds to the graph. Let's see the first question. If h of x is shown by that, find the values of a, p, and q. There you go. So let's try to find the values of a, p, and q. So where we're gonna start is we're gonna start by looking for the value of a. Now, but how do we get to the value of a? So w and t are our axis of symmetry. At this point, they are equal. Okay, if I can get that point, we'll be able to get the asymptote just like that, which is the value of q, and we'll be able to get the value of p, which is also the vertical asymptote. So we'll be able to get the horizontal and vertical asymptote if we can get those 2 points there. This would be p is to q, Now let us try to get those points. When I do my calculations, it's negative x plus 6, x minus 4. So at that point, guys, the graph of w is equal to the graph of t. The graph of w is, let's see, graph of w is negative x plus 6. So I put negative x plus 6. This is equal to x minus 4. So let's get the value of x here. Transpose the x to the other side, it becomes negative 2. Transpose the 6 to the other side, that turns into negative 10. When you divide both sides by negative 2, you are going to get x as positive 5. There you go. Now that I have x as positive 5, I can take any equation. Let's take t of x, which was x minus 4. And then we substitute the value of 5. Let's see what the value of y is going to be. That means t at 5 is equal to 1. The value of y is 1. So I get those coordinates, which is p is to q as p is is the value of x, which we found to be 5, and then q is the value of y, which we found to be 1. Okay, so in other words we are saying p is equal to 5, which is that value of x. Q is equal to 1, which is that value of y. Now we have to find a. To find a, we're going to use that formula there to find the value of a. What I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute one coordinate that I know of, which is e. Let's use e, 9 is to 2. So we use e, which is 9 is to 2. We use those coordinates to substitute there. Value of y is 2, a is what we don't know, x minus p, and we set the value of p as 5. So it's minus 5 plus the value of q, which is 1. Oh, we also have 9 as x. So let me remove x, put 9. Transpose the 1 to the other side. And then you have 9 over, a over 9 minus 5 is 4. Okay, and then cross multiplication, the value of a is gonna be 4. And I write it there as well. We found all three of them. You can rewrite now the equation as, to rewrite the equation, that means the equation of h of x there is 4 divided by x minus 5 plus 1. There you go. Question 2. Determine the area of rectangle ABC. The area here, guys, is gonna be length times breadth. Let me go straight to getting the length. The length is AD. The breadth is either BA or CD. Okay. Our length is AD multiplied by CD. Just quickly check if I got that CD right there. Yes. Now let us try to find the length of AD as well as the length of CD. Now if I want to find the length of AD, this is how we're gonna get AD. Length of AD is gonna be, this is a horizontal line, guys. So instead of using the distance formula, we can say x on the right hand side minus x on the left hand side. This is gonna give us the distance from A to D. Okay, so we need the coordinates of A and the coordinates of D. Once we get those, we'll be able to find the distance there, and then we move on to finding C or B. Okay, now to find A, guys, let me quickly go and find A. A is that point there, and as you can see, our graph is cutting A at the x-intercept. Okay, so we need to find the x-intercept at A. X-intercept at A, and our formula is 4x minus 5 plus 1. So x-intercept at A is gonna be, we make y to be 0, don't forget that. So 0 is equal to 4 over x minus 5 plus 1. And then we try to find the value of x there. 1 goes that side, is equal to, this is equal to 4 all divided by x minus 5, cross multiplication, negative x plus 5, 4 on the other side. Then we take 5 to the other side, it's gonna be negative 1. That means x is positive 1. Okay, at A, these are the coordinates that we have. A is 1 is to 0. Hopefully that makes sense. And then moving on to finding now the other value. Let's see what are we missing. We said A is equal to 1 is to 0. Remember, our aim is to get the length of AD as well as the length of CD. So we need D, and then we can get C as well. I want to start off with C, guys, because there's something common here. The equation of T at C is equal to the equation of, what's our hyperbole of H? Look closely, they intersected T, meaning they are equal at T. So let's do that. If we can find x there and then find y, we'll have the coordinates of C. So starting off with C, the equation of T is equal to the equation of H at C. So I make them equal. Our T was x minus 4, and then our H is 4x minus 5 plus 1. You do your cross multiplication. This is gonna give you x minus 4. Before cross multiplication, how did I forget that 1 there? Transpose the 1 to the other side. Then this becomes the 1 to the other side. This becomes minus 5 x minus, no, let me write it afresh. Transpose the 1 to the other side, it's x minus 4 minus 1 is minus 5, and then you have 4x minus 5. Then you can do your cross multiplication now. So we have to FOIL here. This is x squared minus 10x plus 25 is equal to 4. Okay, then I'm going to take the 4 to the other side. We're left with that. 4 becomes negative. 25 minus 4 is 21. It's equal to 0. And then factorize to get x. So it's x times x. Coordinates of 21, that can give us 10. It's 3 and 7. 3 times 7 is equal to 7, 14, 21. That's fine. And then the 7 gets a negative, the 3 gets a negative, meaning x is equal to 7 or x is equal to 3. Okay, but now remember we're looking for the coordinates of C. I'm gonna go back to all the way to the diagram now. We got 7 and 3. We're trying to see which one is the value of C there. And if you look closely, the value of C, our x here would be 7. So we take the highest one because our C is very, very far from the value of 3. And then use 1 here, use one of the formulas or one of the equations to find y. I'm going to use specifically that one. My y is going to be x minus 4, and our x is 7 minus 4, y becomes 3 at C, meaning the coordinates of C, it's 7:3. I go and write them there. How many marks is this question, guys? Okay, it's worth it. 7 marks, very worth it. So we found A and then we found C. What are we missing now? We found A, we found C. What are we missing? So we are missing the value of D. To make it simple, let us narrow down our options. The value of D, coordinates of D basically are as follows. We don't know what X is. Oh, we do now, we do, because C and D are on the same line. Thank God, makes things easier for us. The value for X is 7, because C and D are on the same line. Then the value for Y, D is exactly at 0 for Y. There you go. Found the coordinates, you can find AD. Now remember, I said AD is XR, meaning the value of X on the right hand side minus the value of X on the left hand side, which is 1. AD is 6 units. And then our CD, let me write it here. CD, because it's a vertical line, you can say Y top minus Y bottom. And then Y at the top is 3 minus Y below is 0. This gives you 3 units. Now to find the area here, you just say length times breadth, which is 6 times 3. You write it here. Therefore, the area now is just length times breadth, which is 6 times 3. And then the area becomes 18 units squared. Please do not forget the units squared. Get marks for that. Okay. If you've got any questions, please put them down in the comment section. I'll attend to them. Question B. On the set of x's below, sketch the graph of g, which is log base of 2x, whereby x is less or equal to 4. Okay, and then there are questions based on that. Let us sketch that graph. What I'm gonna do is I'll go all the way to the calculator, and then we'll try to sketch the graph. Okay. So my calculator is as follows. Let's see, mode table, because we're trying to sketch the graph of g, and it is log base of 2x. Okay, no x. And then we're gonna use f as g, okay, whereby x is less or equal to 4. I press the cosine again. Let's say we start from negative. Let's start from negative 5, and then we end at 4, because that's where we end. Jump by 1. There you go. So negative 5, y is error, negative 4, y is error, negative 3, error, and then it starts from 1:0. So let me graph this one. 1:0. 1 for x, 0 for y. Okay, 2 for x, 1 for y. Oh no, what did I do? So that's 1,58. It's more like 1,6. And then 3 for x. 3 for x, 1,6, somewhere there. Hope you guys can tell or can see that this is becoming a curve. And then 4:2, 4:2, right there. And then yes, that's where we end, because our graph is less or equal to 4. joining my points. Now remember, we got error for the other signs or the other numbers. This is the graph of g of x. I label it like that. Okay, now let me tell you guys, what are they looking for here when they mark? So when they mark, they are looking for the shape of the graph. You get the shape. They are looking for definitely the x-intercept. Definitely the x-intercept. Now, depending on the marks, it's 3 marks. But we have the graph, the shape, we have the intercept. I'm assuming the other mark is for the asymptote. Asymptote. My teacher used to say asymptote. Asymptote. Okay, let me move on to the next question. Question 2. On the set of x's above, sketch the graph of the inverse of g. Okay, so we have to look for the inverse of g. Guys, inverse of g, you will get the inverse from that graph. From that, you'll get the inverse from that. If I write it in the form of y log of 2x, to find the inverse, I can just swap x and y. Okay, and then I write it in the standard form by making y the subject of the formula. I remember we did this on part 1, whereby I said this is the way I use log. You have got base, you have base, you have got exponent, you have got c, which is a constant number. What I do is say e is equal to log of base multiplied by c. So if you look at this, it is in that form. What I'll just do the reverse, meaning y is the constant, so y stands alone. Log, I don't need log. 2 is the base, 2 becomes there, and then x is the exponent. This is the inverse function. Now when I write it as an inverse of g of x is 2 exponent x. But all of this information, you write it on the space which is provided below there. Okay, so you have to write it here. I'll just say the inverse here is 2 exponent x. Now we have to graph that. We have to put that in a calculator. So I'll just say it's a new graph now. It's 2 to the power of x. Let's start from 0. Let's start from 0. Let's end at 4 step by 1. Yes, so it's 0 is to 1, 0 is to 1 there, 1 is to 2, 2 is to 4. Okay, there, now you can clearly see our graph is like that. Please be very accurate, guys. Our graph is like that. Now guys, another way to draw this inverse function is to just look at the coordinates of your special graph. This was 4 is to 2. Okay, let me leave that one because it has a decimal. This is 2 is to 1. This is 1 is to 0. To graph it now using the inverse, all you have to do is to just swap your coordinates. 2 is to 4. As you can see, this is 1 is to 2. And then this is 0 is to 1. If you look closely, the one for the inverse and the one for the graph, your coordinates are just swapped around, meaning y becomes x, x becomes y. It's that simple. Then you get your full marks. Question number 3, write down the domain of the inverse. The domain will be the x values of the inverse function. Okay, the domain will be the inverse. The domain is x moves from all the way from negative values, but when it gets to 4, it stops. that is the domain. Okay, x moves from all the way from negative values, but when it reaches, no, not 4, sorry, when it reaches 2, it stops. When it reaches 2, it stops. So let me remove that 4 and 2. That becomes the domain of the inverse. Okay, and then question number, let me write it here. The domain is x is less or equal to minus 2, or you can say, you can write it like that, all the way to 2, with the square bracket to show that 2 is included or is part of that, that domain, okay, part of the function. Question 4, for what values is x, for what values of x is the inverse multiplied by the prime, or multiplied by prime should be the gradient divided by g is less or equal to 0, guys. All you have to do is, if you get a complicated question like that, take that part, let me use another color, take that part, the one that I've circled here, put it as y. This must be less or equal to 0, meaning your graph must be above or equal to 0. Okay, no, for less means negative, so it must be below. Your graph must be below. Then I go look for it there on the graph. Looking for it, the graph is below the x-axis from 0, basically, because it's below here. Let me highlight it. The graph is below here. This section, the graph is below the x-axis. So we're looking for the values of x. Values of x start from here all the way there. All the way there. Okay, my pen stopped working. It's not me, guys. My pen stopped working. My computer is restarting. Let me see if I can pause. Unfortunately, I can't pause the recording. We'll have to, okay, there we go. Back online, guys. I was saying that I'm sorry, I had a small glitch. My computer just froze, but we are back now. I was saying our graph is below the x-axis, where I've highlighted yellow, meaning the x values that we're looking at are from 0 all the way to 1. To answer that question, you'll say x is between 0, x is greater than 0, but x is less than 1. Now the key question is, did this thing include 0? Okay, no, it did not. So this is the answer. That's the answer. You get your 22 marks. Good to go. Good to go. Let's see. Question 10 is probability. And then that will be all. Perfect. Almost done, guys. Almost done. Almost done.